This just in to CBS Sports HQ, Notre Dame Athletic Director Pete Bevacqua speaking out after his Irish were left out of the college football playoff. Here he is talking about their relationship with the ACC on the Dan Patrick Show.
But we were mystified by the actions of the conference to attack, their biggest really business partner in football and a member of their conference in 24 of our other sports. And I would tell you, Dan, I wouldn't be honest with you if I didn't say that they have certainly done permanent damage to the relationship between the conference and Notre Dame.
What do you mean?
Just we didn't appreciate the fact that we were singled out repeatedly and compared to Miami. Not by Miami. Miami has every right to do that. But it raised a lot of eyebrows here that the conference was taking shots at us. And, that's just not something we chose to do. We wouldn't choose to do that in the future, and people might disagree with us, but that's just not something that we'd be comfortable with.
All right, let's welcome in Danny Kanell. And Danny, you hear what he has to say, a little upset about how the ACC portrayed Notre Dame as it pertains to who should be in over them and Miami. But what do you think about what the athletic director had to say in public?
Oh, I'm not surprised, Emily. Notre Dame, it has irked them. And I remember last week seeing some of the coverage, seeing some of the campaigning that was taking place. The ACC social media accounts were making the heavy case for Miami. The ACC network was re-airing the Notre Dame versus Miami game several times over and over and over. And deep down, I was like, I wonder how Notre Dame feels about this. Now, granted, they have nothing to say about it because they're not a full-time member. And Pete Bevacqua, he said something there about we're their biggest partner in football, but you're not a full partner. If you were, maybe you would have liked to have shared some of that $20 million that you took home last year in the college football playoff. The only team that was able to do such because Ohio State had to split that pot with the Big Ten. The SEC teams had to split their pot. The ACC teams had to split theirs. Notre Dame got to take their whole share. I didn't hear him talking about partners with the ACC then. It does look like Pete Bevacqua is, sort of airing out some of his emotions. And I get it. They should be very emotional right now. I thought they should have been over Alabama. But to get upset at the ACC for promoting one of their own that is actually a true partner, I don't get why he's so flummoxed and upset about that.
Yeah, which is a fantastic point because Miami will have to share their rewards from being in the college football playoff in terms of monetary, whereas Notre Dame did not have to do that last year. Notre Dame has been kind of shaking things up over the last couple of days. They miss out on the playoff. They decline their bowl invitation. People are saying that could impact the bowl system forever. What impact will coming out very publicly from your athletic director have on potentially the relationship with the ACC or a future idea of Notre Dame joining a conference ever?
I don't know, Emily. I'm sure it's going to be uncomfortable with Pete Bevacqua and Jim Phillips, the commissioner of the ACC. I'm sure there's already probably been an angry phone call or two that's been, or a voicemail. Something's been done, I guarantee you, that's been uncomfortable. But what does that mean moving forward? Because even Dan Patrick followed up and said, what does that mean? And he said, well, it just doesn't sit well with me. Well, what does that mean? Are you going to take action to this? Are you going to try to pull out of your agreement with the ACC in football where they do play 5 teams from the ACC a year? If that's the case, good luck trying to find other opponents to fill out a schedule, which is already pretty weak out there, that you're trying to schedule as an independent. So this pseudo relationship, this pseudo partnership, it does benefit Notre Dame. Now, he's not going to willing to admit that right now, but I do wonder if they threaten to pull out, if they threaten to try to break out of this partnership that they have, or is it just going to be, hey, we're going to let it be known that we're not happy about that, and if this happens again, maybe you should promote us both. But that's not the ACC's job. The ACC's job is to look out for their own, not for Notre Dame, who has their own self-interest. The only team at the Power 4 level who has their own interest, and that's it at stake. I don't blame the ACC for not campaigning for them.
We might not see immediate action here, but definitely starting to see some cracks between that relationship between Notre Dame and the ACC. Danny, we appreciate it. We're sure you're going to be talking about this on the Cover 3 podcast because Not a whole lot of games left in the college football season. Got to fill those days, got to fill those feeds. Make sure you are listening. You can also watch by scanning that QR code.